All right, what's going on, everybody? We are at the Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach in Cancun, Mexico. It is pretty much right on the tip of the whole strip of Cancun. So about 100 yards east of us, there's a cul-de-sac where there's kind of hotels around in a circle. So in this video, I wanted to cover kind of check-in, general layout, and then kind of go over room quality. And then one other thing I want to touch on is kind of the excursion experience. That'll be video one. There's going to be multiple episodes of this video to kind of break down the hotel and the surrounding area. So let's roll the bumper and we'll get into it. From check-in, right when you walk in, big open room, obviously move to the left and you get into check-in. Check-in was pretty quick, it was about 15 minutes long. They do give you champagne, they offer champagne, you don't have to take it obviously. They offer champagne right when you check in, which was very cool. There's the way the hotel's set up, it's there's kind of two wings, there's an east and a west wing. Both have 3 elevators each, both have obviously staircases as well. We were on the east wing. So what I mean by that, if you are standing in front of the hotel and the road is to your back, we were on the right side of the hotel. We were on the 7th floor as well, so you'll see pictures throughout this entire video of kind of a little bit of everything as I'm walking through this. The one thing I will say is wristbands. So they give you a wristband right when you get in. They're kind of like the medical grade ones. They're very hard to break. If you break them or lose them, they're $150 US dollars to replace. So it's pretty pricey. So make sure, for the kids, if you're noticing that it's tearing, they do tell you the front desk, take it back and they'll replace it as long as you still have the original one. All right, real quick to go between included versus not included. So this is an all-inclusive. From what I understand, it turned into an all-inclusive a couple of years ago. I'm going to talk about the things that aren't included because obviously there's more that is included. Anything at the spa is not included. You have to pay for that totally separate. Dinner at the Le Basilic, which is a really fancy 7-course meal. When you're staying at the hotel, it's $50 per person. So that includes all courses, all alcohol as well in that, which it's $50 US. If you're not, and I think if you're not staying at the hotel and coming in, it's $150. But apparently the restaurant is very well known in this area. A lot of people come in to go to the restaurant. It was very good. Any of the water sports like the jet skis and paddle boards, they're very accessible. They're right here on the beach, right in front of the resort, but you have to pay for those separate. But they'll have people walking around. If you have interest in those, you either go down or there'll be people walking around to see if there's any interest for you. The excursions as well. There's like a kiosk that you can book your excursions. That's not included. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in this video, and then also transportation to and from either hotel, excursions, anything like that. That will not be included with the hotel price. So included, just a real run through, obviously. So room service is included. Originally, we thought it wasn't, but we called down to the front desk and they said it is included. So as of right now, I don't have a charge, but if that changes, I'll certainly update you guys in the comments. Obviously, alcohol, food are included except for the one restaurant. All the pool activities, they have things throughout the day like water volleyball, water aerobics, stretching, things like that they do to kind of get the crowd involved or get the people around the pools involved. That's all free. And then the night activities, like on 4th of July, we were down here for 4th of July. They had a huge barbecue with a band. And then they have lots of activities in the 4th floor, like huge kind of like opera room. It has a stage and everything, so but you just have to make sure you have reservations for all of that. So you have to have reservations to get into the magic show, the show on the 4th floor, all that kind of stuff. But that's also included inside of the resort price. So quickly moving on to room quality. I did a quick walkthrough video. Rooms are nice. They're clean. It's all tile flooring, so you don't have to worry about the sand and everything like that. But the layout of the rooms, we have a 2-queen room, 7th floor, so it's all very nice. I like the 7th floor because it's high enough that we're above kind of the tiki bars and things like that to see the ocean. It's a good height. I'm glad we got at this. From a clean perspective, I give it a 10 out of 10. Even after the room service or the maid service comes in, they do a very nice job of not really messing with your stuff, but they clean up kind of everything around it. So really good job there. The AC is a 10 out of 10. It's amazing. It's freezing constantly. It's blowing pretty much above the archway into the room, right towards the kind of like in front of the beds, between the TV and the beds. Balcony, I give it 7 out of 10. The space is good. The furniture's sound. It's like metal with wicker. It's pretty nice. There's 2 chairs and a table, so it's nothing crazy. Tile flooring. It has a glass balcony as well, which you'll see, and that's great for obviously viewing everything. But it's really well done. So I gave that 7 or 8 out of 10 as well. We do have walls on each side of our balcony. Not all rooms do. Some rooms they have space between the balconies where it's just glass wraparound, so you can actually see your neighbor's balcony next to you. So realize that not all balconies are created equal here. I'm glad we have walls on each side. It gives you a little bit of privacy, but not everybody has that. So you may want to ask that at the front desk when you're checking in. Just a quick tip. Robes. Asked my wife because I don't really wear them. She said not that soft, so 5 out of 10 on the robes. If you're a huge robe person, I'd probably bring your own because they're not soft. They're not soft, according to my wife. Toilet paper, 5 out of 10 as well. It's kind of paperish, paper thin. It's not that great. It's not your 3-ply, that is for sure. Most places aren't, so kind of it meets the norm. Shower and water pressure, 7 out of 10. They're both good. There's actually 2 heads in the shower. And the pressure is great. It gets super hot, it gets super cold, so it works really well there. Beds, 6 out of 10. They're not that great, but they're not awful. I would say they're a little bit on like the medium firm. Pillows, awful, 4 out of 10. Bring your own pillows if you can, if you have a travel pillow, or if you like something that doesn't collapse on itself, because almost all of the pillows, they give you a lot, which is good. There's like 6 per bed, but they're pretty terrible. Maid Service, it's good, 8 out of 10 like I talked about before. They're very good, they're very accommodating. If you want to be left alone or you call them up later, that all works really, really well. Elevators, like I said before, there's 3 per tower, east and west. Not long wait times. That really only happens around dinner, somewhere between like 4 and 6. It can get a little crazy, but there's always somebody there who's kind of manning the elevators and pushing the buttons. And then we'll keep the door open for you, things like that. Yeah, so elevators, 8 out of 10, no issues there. I haven't been annoyed with waiting on elevators once since I've been here, and we've been here for like 4 days. Spa area, I'll put some pictures up of that. That's on the 4th floor. And the entertainment area, which was kind of like that open opera house type thing. I'm just using the word opera house, but that's also on the 4th floor. And that's it's kind of like between the 2 wings. It's closer to the east tower elevators than it is the west tower, so heads up. And then the excursion center. So when you walk in and you're walking through the front doors and you walk over to check-in, it's pretty much behind you. It's right in front of the doors before you go out to the pool, one of the pool areas. So it's in the little corner kiosk, like a little office space. Just to talk about excursions, we went to Xcaret by Mexico. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I could be butchering it, I apologize. We went yesterday. It was a really long day, so it was $150 per person, and that's all obviously not included. That's transportation, tickets, and then transportation back. So everything inside. With that, you get 1 meal, you get 1 drink, 1 alcoholic drink, as well with that. So what you want to do when you want to go get lunch at a buffet, because then you can get as much food as you want, obviously, and get the biggest bang for your buck. And then all of the regular like soft drinks and things like that are included. Just water, bottled water is not included, so you have to pay $3 per aluminum bottle to get that. It's really good water though. And then the 1 alcoholic drink is included per person. So just realize that with that, if you get it through the excursion kiosk, that's all the things that are included, transportation. The one thing that really was awful for us, that really made the trip not great, on the way there, we left here at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard, and we hit traffic we probably lost about a half an hour getting there. And then on the way back, we left there at 5 p.m. Central Standard, and we hit about an hour's worth of traffic coming back. So the transportation back and forth, no fault of anyone, and we probably shouldn't have picked rush hour times, was awful. So just realize that you want to kind of get out of those windows. I think it's at 7 at the actual kind of amusement park. They have like a night show that they do every single night. It's supposed to be a really big deal. We didn't stay for that because we had dinner reservations back here, which we didn't make anyway because of the traffic. But if you have young kids who like animals, and seeing all types of different animals, and then water type things and marine life and things like that, you'll definitely love it. So the aquarium, one other tip, the aquarium at the Xcaret of Mexico, or by Mexico, is air conditioned. So if you have to get out of the heat, go down to the aquarium, look at all the fish, because inside of there it is AC, so you can cool off a bit and then head back out. And another pro tip, if you're also really warm and you're kind of, the heat's getting to you, head towards the ocean, because the breeze coming in from the ocean was excellent, and it was just constant, so you could actually get under an umbrella and cool off. We actually sat by the ocean for probably like an hour towards the end of the day before we left, just to cool off and kind of sit and relax, because it's a lot of walking. I think we clocked like 14,000 steps in that amount of time, which isn't crazy, but it's a good amount of walking when you're not used to the heat. So that's a little bit about the excursion. So that's what I want to cover today. That was mostly general layout and then room quality. Next video, we're going to cover the restaurants, because it's a little tricky kind of finding things around here and knowing what to do, where, and timing reservations. So we'll talk about all that. So we'll leave that here for video 1, and we'll catch you on the restaurant video review. All right, thanks.